cage, there's no doubt. You're gonna get hit, kicked, knee knocked, and choked out. Undisputed pound for pound king. I swing for the bench, knock you out the whole ring. Hot off the press, yes, who wanna test the technique of a master who throw up on the chest. I guess the next worthy competitor so far below me, I can't see him or smell him, etc. Ahead of the rest of the
All right, welcome to the Rear Naked Choke Show. Thanks for joining us today. Today is Tuesday, March 2nd. I'm Tap, your host. Today we're proud to bring you Kimo as our guest. He'll be joining us from California, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's get started by saying hello again to Nikki, our co-host. So Nikki, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I shouldn't even say welcome back. You're actually our co-host now. So,
I am.
And you do look lovely tonight, I must say.
Thank you.
Yellow's your color.
I'm trying.
All right, good. How was your week?
It was really good. I'm on the forums as usual. You know, UFC, it's great. I actually was on SureDog this week because I noticed somebody posted our Ensign thread.
Cool. All right. News and fight rumors. What you got for us this week?
Strikeforce on CBS in April, but no Fedor.
That's a shame. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. There's definitely a little conflict going on with M1 Global, Fedor, and Strikeforce. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's a sign that he's coming to the UFC, but time will tell, I guess. But there's a chance that he's fighting for Strikeforce in May, but we'll see what happens. What else?
Kimo versus Musasi for Strikeforce in April on CBS.
Now, this is a really good fight. Musasi holds the belt in that division, but he's a top fighter at that weight class in any organization, so it's always a treat to watch him fight. He's fighting Kimo, who's 4-0 in 2009, 6-0 in his career, so this is going to be a really good fight. It's the best fight they could give Musasi, I think.
Yeah, but Musasi is 4-0 in 2009 and 6-0 in 2008.
That's true. What else you got?
You know, and also, Melendez versus Aoki is headed for an April showdown.
Another good fight to that card. You know, they lost Fedor, but these are two really good fights on one card. Aoki, top guy, ton of fights. You know, he's on, I think, a 3-fight win streak and coming back to Strikeforce, so it's good to have him back. He's fighting Melendez, who's a really tough guy. He's only got one loss, and that was by decision. So, you know, nobody's really been able to finish him. So I look forward to that fight. What else you got?
I have the cast of Ultimate Fighter Season 11 was announced.
Yeah, you know, I looked at it. I really didn't see anything, you know, worth mentioning other than it looks like another good season. A lot of these guys have a lot of fights. One guy, I think, has over 30 professional fights. So, you know, I always look forward to watching the Ultimate Fighter. So it's going to be good.
Okay.
What else you got?
Strongman Mariusz Pudzianowski announced for May 7th.
You know, this guy's really worth following. He looked a little bit amateur in his first fight, but he won it. And obviously the guy's super strong. So it's really interesting to see where his MMA career goes. So I'll be following it.
We'd like to thank UFC, SureDog, MMA Weekly, MMA Mania, and MMA Junkie for providing us the news we've reported today. Stay tuned. Up next is Kimo.
All right, welcome back to the Rear Naked Choke Show. We're proud to bring you Kimo, fighter from the UFC, Pride, as well as many other organizations. Fought Royce Gracie in UFC 3, and we're proud to have him on the show. Kimo, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good. Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Let me start off by asking you, if you were to pick any of your wins in the octagon or the cage, what win would you say you're most proud of?
Pat Smith was my nobody can see it, kind of sucks, but that was my most vicious, bloodiest, damaging, put him out fight that I had. It was for K1, but they made an exception and made an MMA fight. Well, not even MMA, bare knuckle, anything goes.
Yeah, so Kimo, I wanted to know, do you think that your hair had an effect on that fight when you fought Royce Gracie?
You know what? I don't look back and go would've, could've, should've. What happened, happened. But if, you know what I'm saying, my hair was cut and I did win that fight, which I would have won, if I even knew he was tired or messed up as he was. I was just tired. I didn't tap from the armbar.
Yeah, it was a great fight either way.
You can see the way I tap, Nick. I tap with just my fingers. I'm not tapping like panicking.
Right.
Because
You
it was
definitely didn't look in pain.
it was my excuse. It was my excuse to get out of the ring and still hold some kind of honor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I gave it up. And I've never been so tired in my life.
Out of all the fighters you fought all the big names between Royce Gracie and Shamrock and Severin. Is there a fighter that you respect more than any others at the end of all your fights?
That's the best question and the way to approach me with that question that I've ever heard. Usually they say, who was my hardest fight? Every fight is hard. My most respect I give out to Marcus Royster, who I fought in Rumble on the Rock 7 in Hawaii.
And you ended up submitting him, is that right?
I ended up tearing my ACL and PCL when he landed on my knee and then submitting him.
Wow. Hey, I gotta mention that because in getting prepared for this interview, I watched a lot of your old fights to refresh my memory, and I gotta say that in watching that, you're one of the smartest MMA fighters, whereas you adapt your game to nullify your opponent's strengths.
It feels really good to hear somebody recognize something that you do and actually catch it in the right perspective. That's awesome.
You have a very cool article written about you in Ultimate MMA Magazine. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, they wrote an article that said basically Kimo goes into the octagon, loses to Royce Gracie, and becomes the most famous martial artist at that time.
Absolutely. It was a defining moment in MMA, and I think the saying is true, whereas if you could say somebody's first name and everybody knows who you're talking about, that you've done really well in life.
Right on.
All right, so Kimo, tell me, if you were offered a fight with Kimbo, would you take it?
Yes. Quickly.
Yeah?
I quickly would take that fight.
Hey, Kimo, when I contacted you to interview you, you had said there, you had something on your mind you wanted to talk about. What you got on your mind tonight?
Right on. I'm not the kind of person to watch my tapes or look at myself and be all proud or this or that. I'm pretty low key, humble, everybody kind of guy. But because I haven't been fighting, I've been kind of going on the internet and doing my homework on fights and fighters, and I noticed on YouTube I put Kimo and any of my fights other than Shamrock and Gracie. I put Kimo and Varlins. It don't come up. Kimbo comes up and a whole bunch of other fights. I put Kimo and Tank. Ain't no fight come up.
Well, I'm going to check that out. Do you think that's a problem with the tags that people are using when they upload them, or do you think it's a little more than that?
It's more than that. People who will know will figure it out. I don't need to say anything because, time will reveal all things, man. Truth comes out no matter what.
So basically, there's a good chance that they're using your name as a way to promote a current fighter.
I would rather put it like this. They're kind of like erasing it.
Well, that's interesting, and I'm actually going to check that out now, and, hopefully that you talking about it and us helping to bring attention to that changes that, because you definitely deserve full credit for every fight that you've been in and all that you've done for the sport of MMA. So I hope that changes.
Thank you. You can Google it and stuff will come up because it'll come up in Japan, where a Japan site will have a fight with me and Marcus Royster. But nothing in America. There ain't no sites here that will pull up any of those fights that I just mentioned.
All right, well, we're going to put the people that love MMA in the forums and the blogospheres, we're going to put them on that, and we're going to try to get that changed. How's that sound?
That sounds right on. Mahalo.
Want to finish out this interview just by thanking you for coming on. We want to thank you for, all your amazing memories.
Thank you, Kimo.
Right on, Nikki. You make me smile when I hear your voice.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thank you very much.
Just make sure you watch WEC Saturday and make sure that you tune in 2 weeks because we're not going to be here next week.